All right, so this is our back to school poem. We are going to start with this today, okay? This is going to be our shared reading. So what we are going to do is we are going to read it all together, okay? So as I am reading, I need you to read it with me, okay? So, back to school. The first day of school. Here, read it with me, okay? Not sure what's in store. A brand new teacher and a whole lot more. Making new friends and seeing old ones too. What will we learn? I haven't a clue. Will we learn about animals or outer space? Will we learn to be writers, or in gym will we race? I have so many questions about how this year will be. A brand new adventure. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, so what we are going to do with our poem today, we are going to do a fill in the blank. I know it is kind of hard to see. So what I want you to do, I am going to have you, let's do this. Alright, so making connections. We're going to think about the words in the poem Back to School. And do they have a connection? Does the poem remind you of anything? Use pictures and words to describe your connection. Okay, so what I want you to do, I want you to think about what the poem says and then what it reminds you of. Okay? So the poem said, what will we learn? Will we learn about outer space? Then I need you to sit there and tell me what you think it reminds you of. Yes, ma'am.
It's about school.
What about school?
And math, so you can learn.
Math in school, so we can learn. That's right. So I need you to tell me. I gave you a book that looks like this. Okay? So in your composition notebook, it looks like this. Okay? I need you to sit there and open it up, and that's where you're going to write. So tell me what the poem says. So give me a sentence about what the poem says. And then give me a sentence of what it reminds you of. So, for example, I can say, so what does the poem say? Give me an idea of what the poem said. Amia?
Space.
It talked about outer space, okay? So, the poem talks about what we might learn in school. So it talks about what we might learn in school, okay? Now I have to think about what does this remind me of, okay? Well, for me, this reminds me of a fun day I had in school. We had learned about space. Okay? So tell me what it reminds you of, okay? Does it remind you of a time in first grade and you had questions and you asked Miss Roberts, or you asked Miss Thackeray, or you asked Miss Quick? Okay? You were in Miss Quick's class? Okay. You were in Miss Blackman's class? Okay, so what I want you to do is open up your book and write it. Remember, what does the poem say? First page. What does the poem say, or what does it talk about? Okay? Go ahead and get your pencils out.
Write the square too.
Huh?
Write the square too.
No, you don't have to write the square. Just give me a sentence for the first one and a sentence for the bottom one. So what does the poem say? That you might have questions. What else does the poem say? What do you remember that the poem says? What's something that the poem says? Kamari? You might learn about animals. Okay, what else does it say? Huh? You might write, okay. Said you might have questions, so you might learn about animals. You might write. You might learn about new things. Okay, so that is great for any of them to be your first sentence, okay? So let's put the pencil sharpeners up. Let's make sure that we're writing, okay? Should see two sentences on your paper. Remember, the first sentence being what the poem says or what the poem is talking about. And then second, I should see what this reminds you of. I'm going to give you about 2 more minutes, okay? Alright, so I want you to put pencils down for me. Alright, we are going to do our read aloud. How I spent my summer vacation. I need you to make sure that you have your listening ears on and that you're listening. So we can talk about what the story is afterwards, okay?
This story is written by Mark Teague. How I Spent My Summer Vacation. How I Spent My Summer Vacation by Wallace Black. When summer began, I headed out west. My parents had told me I needed a rest. Your imagination, they said, is getting too wild. It would do you some good to relax for a while. So they put me aboard a westbound train to visit Aunt Fern in her house on the plains. But I was captured by cowboys, a wild-looking crowd. Their manners were rough and their voices were loud. I'm trying to get to my aunt's house, I said, but they carried me off to their cow camp instead. The cattle boss growled as he told me to sit. We need a new cowboy. Our old cowboy quit. We could sure use your help, so what do you say? I thought for a minute, then I told him okay. Then I wrote to Aunt Fern so she'd know where I'd gone. I said not to worry, I wouldn't be long. Dear Aunt, captured by cowboys, don't worry, see you soon. Love, Wallace. That night I was given a new set of clothes. Soon I looked like a wrangler from my head to my toes. But there's more to a cowboy than boots and a hat. I found out the next day and the day after that. Each day I discovered some new cowboy tricks, from roping and riding to making fire with sticks. Slowly, the word spread all over the land. That Wrangler Kid Bluff is a first-rate cowhand. The day finally came when the roundup was through. Aunt Fern called, "Come on over, bring your cowboys with you." She was cooking a barbecue that very same day. So we cleaned up a little and we headed her way. The food was delicious, there was plenty to eat, and the band that was playing just couldn't be beat. But suddenly I noticed a terrible sight. The cattle were stirring and stamping with fright. It's a scene I'll remember to my very last day. "They're gonna stampede," I heard somebody say. Just then they came charging. They charged right at me. I looked for a hiding place, a rock or a tree. What I found was a tablecloth spread out on the ground. So I turned like a matador and spun it around. It was a new kind of cowboy, a fantastic display. The cattle were frightened and stampeded away. Then the cowboys all cheered, "Bluff's a true buckaroo." They shook my hand and slapped my back, and Aunt Fern hugged me too. And that's how I spent my summer vacation. I can hardly wait for show and tell. The end.
Alright, so tell me, why do you think he was excited for show and tell? Because it was fun? What did he want to show or tell? That he was a cowboy. So how did he spend his summer vacation? Huh? Having fun? Who did he go stay with?
The cowboy.
With the Cowboys. And what did he do? He helped them, okay.
He was having fun.
He had fun with them. Alright. So, right now, each week we're going to have words. Okay? Each week you are going, or each day you are going to have certain things that you need to do with them words. Such as on Mondays, you need to write them words how many times? 3 times. On Tuesday, you need to pick 5 words to write sentences with. On Wednesday, you need to write a story. And on Thursday, you need to practice these words with a grown-up. These words are important because when you come back next week, you will be tested on these words. Okay? So it's important that you make sure that you're going over them each day with the grown-up and that you're doing the assignments each day. Kamari. You already know it? Awesome job. Then you should pass next week, right? High five. Air high five. There we go. Yes, Samia.
I did mine at home Monday.
Oh, air high five. Good job. All right, so we're going to go over them together, okay? All right, so I want you to read them with me. Okay? No. Go. So. Is. It. Can. Me. Up. You. And. We. In. On. And do. Like I said, when you come back next week, I'm going to say, okay, come up to my desk. We're going to practice these. I need you to read them to me. And then I'm going to say, oh, yep, you can do them. And if not, we're going to say, oh, you got to add words to your new word on 15 words, okay? So we got to make sure that we practice them. That way we won't have to add them to our next week words, okay? Everybody good? All right. What I want you to do, I want you to open up that same journal that you wrote your 2 sentences in. At the bottom of that page, you can write week 1 words. Week 1 words.
This one?
Yep, down at the bottom of that page. Write week 1 words, and then I want you to write all 15 words on your paper. Okay? No, just once today. I am going to come around. I'm going to put your name on your journal. Come on, let me see those pictures.
What can you put a pen in?
Is that right? Okay. Madison. Anita. All right, so make sure that you go ahead and you write these words for me. All right, we got to stop messing with them, okay? words down? Still working on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you go to church? Do you go to church? I do too.
You got all your words down? Make sure you write them. Make sure you write them to where you can read them. Alright, are we done? Everyone got them? Alright, right now what we are going to do, we are going to break and go to the computers and we're going to do Imagine Learning for a little bit, okay? Alright,